I hope you all are doing very well. And the Ramadan is going well with everyone. So I made a post this morning about, an observation that I've made. An observation about, the increasing number of deaths in our country. Particularly of people that no one, announces. No one announced that he or she has been ill for a while. But what you hear and what you read is that, this person is dead. Next, this person is dead. You cannot understand what is happening. And so I have observed that for a while, and I thought that there is a problem somewhere. And people have been complaining about the issue of food for a long while. And I got to believe that, it has to do with that, because having knowledge of how, food inspection is done in the Gambia, and the cost to human life, it comes with when, unhealthy and, toxic food is being consumed by the people, particularly people that are struggling with poor health care. It's enormous, and the cost is huge. And, I think, that's why I think, it should be a concern to the government, particularly the Ministry of Health, for them to establish or for them to, proclaim a public health emergency, an emergency that they will have to, look into to know why people are, dying. Healthy looking people dying, unexplained death. That should concern us. It should concern everybody. Like this guy, who is at Gambia Football Federation. He looks healthy. He looks healthy to die. Like this guy, the senior brother, Pajalaman, looks healthy. And many other folks that look very healthy to just, die, like that. I cannot understand. And I've, seen many times people complain about, the poor quality of food and all that kind of stuff. And that should be something that should worry everybody. But we need to understand, food is not only, processed food is not only unfit for consumption when it is expired. That's the greater, thinking that people have. That it's only when it is expired that it's unhealthy for consumption. No. It's not only, when it is expired that it is unhealthy for consumption. No. The food could be particularly canned food that we eat, many, at times in the Gambia. Be it sardine, be it, milk and all that kind of stuff. A lot of us eat that. Canned food has preservatives. The essence of the preservative is to maintain the quality of the food that is in there. And that preservative has an expiry period. The expiry that you see most often, on the cup or on the cover, whatever it is the period in which the expiry, the preservative that is in there can no more maintain the quality of the food that is in there. So when that preservative, gets to expiry, the content, whatever is in the cup, can no more, live in its, state of, being, quality and of good, state for consumption. So the preservative gets expired. However, we need to understand, these preservatives are chemical products that are kept in there to preserve it. But then, those, products that are in there to preserve this food that we consume also undergo reactions. And the activities that we do or the things that, lead to their reaction could quicken their, rate or period of expiry. So say, for example, it's supposed to expire in 1 year. And you have a can of sardine. The preservative in there is supposed to expire in 1 year. But then you are transporting this sardine. It hit everywhere. It knocked everywhere. And so, in the knocking process, it leads to reaction. And the preservative reacts. And instead of protecting the product that is inside, the reaction now destroys the product. That's why you will open a can and it says that it's supposed to expire in 2026, 2027. But inside it is all spoiled. It's spoiled because the preservative inside had a reaction. It had a reaction, maybe due to the handling, maybe due to the transportation, maybe due to the storage. It had a reaction, and that reaction destroyed the product. So when you open the can, the person selling to you will look at it and say, this is not expired, because it's supposed to expire in 2026. It's supposed to expire in 2027. However, during the process of transporting that product, during the process of handling that product, during the process of storing that product, it destroyed, it created a reaction of the preservative. And that reaction of the preservative to the container leads to the destruction of the product. So if the people that are consuming this, like you eat sardine, it doesn't taste like one that is, good. But you eat it for the sake of eating because you don't have the money to buy another. You eat that with the preservative inside destroyed. You're getting sick. You're going to get sick. You're going to get sick. You drink milk. The milk that, is already, milk that's supposed to be white, you drink in the milk and the milk is yellow. The milk is yellow. You're supposed to know that this milk is destroyed. It's not good. But you drink the milk and you get sick. Next you go, go in, to the hospital. You don't get the needed care, or you may be misdiagnosed, and then you die. You die. And then they'll say, that, Allah, you're supposed to die and all that stuff. But that's it. But there's a long way in all of these things. And people have to, we have to, ask questions. We have to ask questions. Where is the problem? Where is the problem? What is the reason why healthy looking people are dying unexplained death? That they have headache, next minute they're dead. Why? People are having headache elsewhere and they're not dying from that headache. What is the cause? What is the cause of that headache? You ask those questions. You buy butter and the butter is supposed to be solid. You buy butter, you place your spoon on the butter, it melts. That tells you that it's not good. It tells you that it's not good, but you consume that. You buy mayonnaise and you put your spoon there, you take a scoop of it. The mayonnaise all pours back in because it's not thick. That tells you that it's not good. All of these things are things that you folks out there are seeing. All of these things are things that you folks out there are seeing. You buy mayonnaise, you put, you want to take a scoop of it. You put your spoon inside, you lift your hand, it all pours back because it is not thick. You buy, yogurt, the same. You take a scoop of it, it all pours back because it becomes liquid, and it's supposed not to be liquid. It's supposed not to be liquid. The mayonnaise, the yogurt, supposed to be condensed. That, if you take a scoop, you just like, komono benyaming. That's how it's supposed to be. Monomin tikta. Isa big, kojaro dosata ya biala. Ata murla fankoto. Ata murla, bolo nyikono. But ning fanko mayonnaise wala yogurt nyikake ko monokulu mesengo. Mi yalo ko ibe kalamale tala no purka mono nyiming. Isalun ko mayonnaise man correct. Ama betia. Isalun ko yogurt man betia. But honey, even with that, is a keronyi jubeno, keronyi bala, abije koko ama expire. Abije ama expire. But mayonnaise only wala yogurt biji is expired because of the reaction that the preservative had with the container, because of the heat of the storage facility, because of the malhandling in the transportation of the product. All of that could destroy the product, even when on it is written unexpired. Even on it is written unexpired. But the handling, that's why, how will I call it, the manufacturer provides clear instructions on how to transport, how to handle, how to store. They put all of that there. Disregard of all of those things will cause, it is going to cause and cost, lives, disease to people and lives. But we don't take into consideration all of these things. And these are very important things. These are very important things to take into consideration. The way we transport the products, the way we handle the products, and the way we store the products. You keep the product in a very hot place. It causes reaction, chemical reactions. The preservatives react because they are in a container. The container gets hot. It causes reaction of the chemicals inside. And that reaction of the chemical destroys the product. It destroys the product. It changes the quality of the product. A product that's supposed to be white becomes yellow. It becomes yellow. Do you know me yellow niya kandi 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes I kumasi ka faji. It you do know kandi for 10 minutes. I want faji no. You're supposed to know that there is a problem there. You're supposed to know that there is a problem in there. But all of these things are things that the people responsible, the food, quality, what is the whole name of it? People responsible for this supposed to take into consideration all of these things. Because human life is very important. Human life is very, very important. The inspection supposed to be done, I always say this every time. When you are tired, don't do what you want to do. Because you are going to do the work, inefficiently and do it in a way that will not meet standards. If you are out to do an inspection, you are in the process of inspection and you get tired, go home. Go home. Because if you continue, you will not have the stamina, you will not have the energy to do the inspection the way you're supposed to do it. And that will cost lives. That will cost lives. You are going to a supermarket to inspect the biscuits that are in the supermarket. You inspect only one carton because you are tired. You inspect only one carton. One carton is good. You forget the rest. You approve, certify that those biscuits being sold there are good quality. When you didn't even inspect all, you only inspected one carton. And the people consume that and they die. You don't have an explanation for why they are dying. The explanation for why they are dying is because of the poor inspection that you did. Because of the poor inspection that you did. And at times, you don't even inspect. They don't even inspect. The people doing the business will use them. You are responsible for KMC. And the businessmen know that you are responsible for KMC. You're supposed to come for inspection. They give you whatever they give you. You certify that the supermarket, the restaurant, this importer is importing good. You give them certification when you are not even there. When you are not even there. At the Gambia Port Authority, just like they have the immigration, they have custom, folks there, the police and all the Navy and all that stuff, people, they have, how will I call it, public health officials there. They have public health officials there. Every consignment of, food product that is coming to the Gambia has to be inspected by the public health officer, thoroughly inspected and certified that it is fit for consumption. Every consignment, whether it is, 1, million bags of rice, it has to be inspected by the public health officer because that is the responsibility of the public health officer who is there. To be sure that every food that is getting into the Gambia, every grain of rice that is getting into the Gambia, every can of sardine that is getting into the Gambia, every can of milk that is getting into the Gambia, every can of milk that is getting into the Gambia is fit for consumption. That's the responsibility of the public health officers that are at the port authority, at our seaport. Because that's where the consignments of these imported, food products come. That's their responsibility. But what happens? Sometimes this guy, brought bags of rice. You just, inspect one bag of rice. And then, you certify that the tons of bag of rice, the tons of, rice that he or she brought are all in good quality. And then it goes, people consume and they die. They consume and they die. Sometimes they don't even inspect them. This, public health officer is the one responsible for, the inspection. The people importing know that this person is the one responsible. They give him or her whatever they want to give him or her. The person is sitting at his or her house and certified that this product is fit for consumption without even seeing it. Without even seeing the product that he or she certified. That is how these folks are bringing in expired food products to our country. That is how they bring in expired food products to our country, and our people are consuming them and dying. They're consuming them and dying. The same way the police officer certifies someone as a qualified driver to drive and commit accident and kill people on road traffic accident. In the same way, certifying a food product that is expired and fit for consumption, get into the community and people consume it and die is the same thing. The same. It's the same as a doctor, prescribing a medication without even checking the patient and looking and then say you have malaria and write anti-malarial medication and the person takes that and dies. The same. All of these are negligent activities, negligent actions by professionals who are supposed to do what they're supposed to do. And it goes back to what I said earlier. If you are tired, don't do. Say, I cannot do it today. You have the power. I say this to all folks. I said, your place of work is where you could exert authority in the right way. Where you work is where you could exert authority in the right way. You are the public health officer responsible for the inspection at the Gambia Post Authority. The day that you are not feeling well, the day you are tired, you have the authority to say, today I cannot come. I am postponing the inspection to the next day. And that is your authority that has to be respected. That's your authority that has to be respected. Don't allow or accept that, this guy is a good guy. He always brings good product. Today you are tired, you're not going there because he always brings good product. I'm going to certify. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. The same way I don't entertain people bringing prescription and telling you, just sign, I'll read it. No, you don't do that because you take in responsibility for what you don't know. You take in responsibility for what you don't know. The quickest way for a person to die is through the consumption of what is not good. It's the quickest way. Because it's difficult to get that out of the body. And you cannot quantify how much damage it is going to cause to the body before it exits the body. How much damage it is going to cause to the body before it exits the body. You cannot quantify that. Not long ago, I think about a year or so ago, someone, posted on the internet a canned drink that is, spoiled inside, but on the can it is not expired. It's the same explanation that I just made before. And the mother consumed that and died. The mother consumed that and died. The shopkeeper that is selling that canned drink cannot tell whether it is destroyed inside. He cannot tell. But the people responsible for the inspection can tell if this is of quality or not of quality. You know that the canned drink is supposed to be kept in a cold place. You keep the canned drinks, in a very hot oven for 6 months. What will happen to it? It's gonna be of low quality. Coupled to this, situation of poor electricity supply in our country. You keep the canned drink high up there for 6 months, for 7 months. And then because you don't have enough space in the fridge to put it there. You don't have a cold place, to keep it. You keep it in a very hot place. And you malhandle, malstorage, malhandle it, poor storage, port transportation. It says it is expiring in 2026. The person drinks it and doesn't even have a good taste of the canned drink that he or she drank. Because it is poor quality, it's destroyed. The preservatives in there are already spoiled. They're spoiled. All of these things can be addressed. All of these things can be addressed. And the way they can be addressed is by people responsible doing what is their responsibility. But corruption is causing all of this problem, contributes to all of this problem. You are a public health officer, you provided the responsibility to inspect, someone gives you money for you to accept what will kill thousands of your own people. That could include your own. That could include your own. That could include your own. Yeah, because when you accept a consignment, you don't know where, who is going to buy whatever product it is, and where the selling is going to stop, or where the selling is going to be done. Your own people and even your own self may consume that. You consume that, you die, you leave the money that person used to bribe you. That's why people have to be very patriotic. We have to be very patriotic and loving of our country and our people. We have to be loving of our country and our people. You have a responsibility. Take the responsibility as important as it is your life that is at stake. Take the responsibility as important as if your life is at stake. Accepting everything that is not why we are to this date. If it was accepting everything, we will not have this internet. Speaking to people that are thousands of miles away. It's advancement that brought this. Advancement through the use of knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say that because, the definition and the timing of death comes from him that we could do whatever. If that was the case, you could stand on the road and allow the vehicle to hit you. But even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when you commit suicide, you're going to hell. When you commit suicide, you're going to hell. That is, it is in the same vein that people have to put in preventive measures. People have to put in preventive measures to prevent ill health. To prevent ill health. The same way you don't sleep at your house. You're hungry and you stay at your house the whole day. You don't do that. You go out to get something to eat. That is to prevent you from getting consequences from the hunger that you have. It is the same thing that we have to do with preventing the health of the community. People are given responsibilities. These people are importing these products. They don't just bring them and dump them like that. They brought them to our country through the help of people who are Gambians. Through the help of people who are Gambians, who are our own brothers and sisters. Through the help of our people. They import products that are costly to our lives. And in addition to that, poor legislations. Poor legislation, poor policies. You don't have strict laws. Someone imports expired product like the bad syrup that they brought and killed babies. That person supposed to be, the person that imported that supposed to serve life imprisonment. If not death sentence, life imprisonment. When you do that, you're deterring others from coming, from doing the same thing. But what happened with that? Nothing came out of it. Nothing came out of it. And that's an encouragement for people to do more. That is an encouragement for people to do more. So in the absence of professionals doing their work rightly, those that will escape the checks and balances, escape the measures, the standard, the following of the standard operating procedures that are in place, must be held accountable through the laws that are in place, through the policies that are in place. But people commit that and nothing comes out of it. If the people that imported those syrup that led to 60 babies dying, got nothing in the name, in terms of punishment. They only find money. What will money do to that person? Somebody that imported that amount, you find that person chicken change. He will easily pay that. He will easily pay that. If every, punishment for wrongdoing was about payment of money, we will have more criminals in our street. Restriction and limiting their freedom is a major punishment. It's a major way of restricting and stopping people from doing, things that are not right. The people that imported that cough syrup, if it was in America, in Europe, that person would have been serving prison time, in addition to the fine. But nothing happens. Nothing happens. And what is the message that is sent? The message that is sent is that I could do it again. And the only thing that I'll get as a punishment is fine, which I could pay. So we have to be very, very, very jealous of the lives of our people. Jealously safeguard the lives of our people. We cannot allow and accept people dying of unexplained death. You see someone very healthy. This guy of, Dr. Dabo of Gambia Football Federation, about a week ago, I saw him commenting on Facebook. About a week ago, if not even less than a week ago. When Dr. Haji Drame posted about what Trump said, the 350, billion, million US dollar or billion US dollar that the US spent in Ukraine. I saw him comment there less than a week or 2 weeks ago, and the guy is dead. Less than a week or 2 weeks ago, the guy is dead. Pajalamang, someone told me February, he was talking to the person. Now he's dead. How are these things happening? And there's another guy I saw, they posted from Basse, who works with their media, URR media thing. The guy looks very healthy, also dead. And even this other, entrepreneur, gentleman, JT, guy, that does this, transportation business, looks healthy, also dead. What is the explanation for this unexplained death? What is the explanation? We need to find out the explanation, how we could do that. The easiest way and the first thing to do is, let's look at the food products. Because that is what people are eating every day. Let's get that out first. Let's rule out, the risk or the cost being related to what people are consuming. That's the easiest one that you could do. It's the easiest one that you could do. Let's do that. Let's check the food products, the things that they are eating, the imported food products. Is that the cause of people dying unexpected death? If that is not the cause, then we look at the next things. But I'm very, very certain when we look at the importation of food, the products that we are importing and the things that people are consuming, it will be very, very clear that majority of people are getting ill health and dying from that. And economic hardship could cause people to consume things that are not worthy of eating. You know that. The person that cannot afford the cost of 3 pieces of fish for 1,000 will be okay buying fish that is destroyed, this fish that is spoiled. The guy that cannot buy mayonnaise that is sold at 100, he could be okay to buy mayonnaise sold at Brikama market or at Latikunda market or at whichever market it is. It is for $25, even when the mayonnaise is not good, even when the butter is not good. And they buy it cheap and think that because it is cheap, it is good. When they buying what will kill them, economic hardship could cause that. Economic hardship could cause people to consume things that are not good because they cannot afford what is of quality. And who could stop that? The people, the state, the people responsible. could stop the importation of low quality products and could also contribute, stop the exorbitant cost of, of consuming, basic commodities. They could stop both of that. But if that is not done, what will happen? People will continue to consume such kind of things and die unexplained. Healthy looking people dying. That's not correct. That should worry everybody. That should worry everyone. People that look healthy, next minute you hear that the person is dead. What are they eating? What are they consuming? I give you a story. In the US, a long while ago, and in fact this contributed to even a president resigning. It even contributed to a president resigning. A pipe was leaking and the pipe got infected. The whole community got diseased, got ill from that infected pipe. And they developed ill health. When they investigated, they then found out that, yes, the source of this ill health in this community is because of the pipe that is leaking that got infected. That got infected and contributed to the ill health of the people. It contributed to the ill health of the people. How many of those kind of things are happening in the Gambia? How many of those kind of things are happening in the Gambia? How many supermarkets have they found expired food products? How many, pharmacies or drugstores have they found expired drugs? And nothing comes out of it. Nothing comes out of it. Some people are even angry with me because I, defended the Medicine Control Agency against, this place, Innova. And they got angry with me because, the people that know me, I'm not even talking about the people, out of my family. The people that know me at family level know that I don't have, a preference. Like say, this person is close to me, so I will, defend this person and all that kind of stuff. I don't do that. I am very straightforward. I only befriend people on the basis of what is right. Yeah, but people are angry with me because, I defended the Medicine Control Agency on the basis of what is here. On the basis of what is here. Yeah, because number one, you refusing inspection, that is unacceptable. You refusing inspection is unacceptable. Number two, finding expired products on the shelf is, a concern. And they have a genuine reason to query that. Number three, importing products that are not certified or accepted or cleared by the, overseen or oversight authority is unacceptable. And these are things that the Medicine Control Agency put forward. And I defended that because that is what's supposed to be done. People have to be compliant. Compliance is very important in our everyday life. But people got angry with me and they snubbed me because I, defended Medicine Control Agency. But I don't care because, man, that's the life I have lived from the very day that I, understand myself to this date. That's the life I live. And I don't choose whether it is blood or not blood. What I choose is people doing what is right. People doing what is right. And I stated that what Innova did by calling, social media outrage against an authority that is responsible for the control of what, the medical, medicine and medicinal products that are coming into our country, supposed not to be done. That was a problem for me. And I saw everybody, show solidarity for things that are not right. And if someone else does exactly the same thing, that person will be vilified. That person will be said every kind of thing. Because that person is someone else. And that contributes to the reason why we have a very, very decaying, society. We have a decaying society because people have choices on the basis of what is right and what is wrong. They have choices on the basis of what is right and what is wrong when there is no choice in wrong and right. Wrong and right is only one. So you don't have options. It's either it is right or it is wrong. But they make options to when it is right and when it is wrong. That is part of our problem. Our society is destroyed. If all of these problems that we have in our society is because of the lack of uprightness, the lack of honesty, the choice of being subjective when it is about the truth or when it is about doing what is right. Making subjectivity to the doing of what is right instead of being objective. Instead of being objective. I saw, and all of us saw, the outcry that everybody had when the issue of, the cough syrup came about. Everybody shouted about the pharmacy. And everybody, and my good friend said, everybody, said all kind of nonsense to him. Because he was the pharmacist whose license was used by the pharmacy that was, selling those products. But when it came to the issue of Innova, the outcry changed. And everybody was shouting at the Medicine Control Agency, which is an oversight authority. Even when we try to explain, for people to understand, no, they don't. Because Gambia, lui problem with Gambia moy, kone kada fa wara dañoo am fu ñoo farle. Su wat diga joté. Su wat diga joté rek dañoo am fu ñoo farle. Duñ seet ne diga bi la ñoo toppa. Duñ seet ne diga bi la ñoo toppa. People do business. And I explained and I said, the folks that are working at the Medicine Control Agency they have, how will I call it? They have outlined, policies in place that safeguards, it prevents them from being in the bracket of conflict of interest. I explained that. I said the person could, his license or her license could be used to operate a pharmacy, but he must not work in that pharmacy. He must not work in that drugstore. Because if he works in that drugstore, or if he is an oversight person and is inspecting that drugstore, there will be conflict of interest. For example, my license cannot be used, for a pharmacy, and then I be the inspector of that pharmacy. There will be conflict of interest. But there is no conflict of interest if my license is used for this pharmacy and someone else does the inspection. It becomes the responsibility of that someone else to do what is right. It matters not whether it is my license that is being used. But people refuse to listen to that. They run around, say all kind of nonsense. And that contributes to our problem. It contributes to our problem. Buga farle because kini suma mboka la wala ki suma li la ki suma la la. That's the problem. That's the problem that we have as a country. So, like I said, corruption contributes to the problem that we have. Corruption, people not doing what is right, negligence of duty, and poor policies and laws. We have to have very strict laws for, security, for consumption. Like whatever people are eating, the laws must be very strict to make sure that we have high quality in that sector. Security, the laws must be very strict to ensure that people are secure. In education, there must be strict laws to ensure that people have high quality education. Because these are the three very important things that, define the way people live. They define the way people live. But if we make any kind of law, everybody could do every nonsense and nothing comes out of it, our people will continue to die. Our people will continue to die. Only those that could afford, things of quality will buy quality. The ones that cannot afford it will buy those of low quality, consume them and die. Consume and die. Because the people that are responsible for the maintenance of quality products are not doing it. We have an authority responsible for the inspection of, food products that have been sold and all these kind of, things in the Gambia. But nobody does that. Here in New York City and America in general, restaurants are classified into grades. You have A, B, and C. Restaurant A is has met all the requirements that is expected of a restaurant. So you that goes to the restaurant, you will know that if I eat at restaurant A, the likeliness of me getting sick is very, very minimal. If I eat at restaurant B, the chances in which I could get sick is 50%. If I buy, or eat at restaurant C, the chances of me getting sick is 75 or 100%. So it becomes your choice to choose the restaurant to go to because the grading is there. And the law says that they must put the grade, in a place that is visible and make it very visible so that whichever customer comes will see the grade. Will see the grade. Is that happening in the Gambia? I don't know. So you could go to the restaurant and you see the person that is selling you, sells you here next minute, washes his nose with his finger or her nose with the finger, scratches the bottom, scratches this place and brings you food. You eat that. You go there, you have diarrhea. You go home, you get diarrhea. Because people are not following basic rules. And all of these are easy to do because we have authorities in place. It's not difficult. You just outline what everybody has to do. And even the certificate that they give the people, the food handlers, you go to, the problem of the Gambia is too much. The people that, give the certificate, you go to the hospital. Instead of them doing the lab, the investigation, the test to know whether they have, any infection, microbial, whatever infections, foodborne, disease, vectors and pathogens, etc. The person that is going to do the lab will fill the form and say negative, when he or she didn't even check. And write negative. You go, the doctor also didn't even check you, and the doctor certified healthy. You go, sell and infect the food, the person eats that, and then the person gets sick. All of these things are happening in the Gambia. These are not just me thinking and saying nonsense or rubbish. These are things that are happening in the Gambia. There are things that are happening in the Gambia. So people have to embrace patriotism. They have to embrace patriotism. And at every point of service, of duty, you have to have at the back of your mind, this that I am doing could cost my own life. Could cost my own life. Even if you are a secretary, what you are doing could cost your life. Even if you are a secretary, even if you are a clerk that, enters things, what you are doing could cost your own life. Even if you are a clerk that only enters things, the mail comes, the mail came at 5 o'clock, the mail came at 3 o'clock. That you are doing could cost your own life. It could. So, but if you apply that consciousness, that whatever I am doing could cost my life, I have to do it the best way I could do it. Everybody does that. All of these problems that we have in our country are going to stop. If they do not stop, they're going to be very, very minimal. But we don't care. People don't care. You're supposed to come to work at 8 o'clock, you come at 10 o'clock. But if you know coming late to work could cost your own life, could delay a lot of things. Maybe you're supposed to sign a file. That file supposed to get somewhere. And that person is supposed to act on that. You're supposed to sign a file today at 8 o'clock. You didn't sign the file today at 8 o'clock. You signed the file tomorrow at 10 o'clock. The person that's supposed to act on that file was in office today to act on that file. Tomorrow, he is not coming. Tomorrow comes, he didn't come to work because he's sick. So that file was supposed to be acted on yesterday. Because you didn't act on the file. It came the next day. The person that's supposed to act on the file is not in office. He's sick. He's not in office, he's sick. So the file spends 24 hours or 48 hours or 72 hours. Nothing happens to it. Maybe that file was supposed to clear a check for people going for school, for people going for training, for people, procuring whatever it is. That didn't happen. It delayed all of that. Maybe the drugs is supposed to procure essential drugs. Those drugs are not procured because this file was supposed to be brought by the clerk or the messenger. The messenger didn't come early. The record clerk supposed to enter it, didn't enter it. Went for breakfast, went for lunch. And the record clerk supposed to enter it at 8 o'clock. The messenger didn't come. The messenger brought it at 12. 12, the person that's supposed to enter it has gone for lunch. Comes back at 3 o'clock. He didn't enter it. He waits for the next day. The next day he enters it. The person that's supposed to act on that file didn't come that day because the wife is having gente. The wife is having a naming ceremony. Didn't come. So that spends a week there. That file, before it gets cleared, maybe that file was supposed to clear a check. The check that will buy essential drugs. So that file is not completed. The check is not cleared. The essential drugs are not bought. Those essential drugs may have been the drugs that somebody else on the hospital bed would have used to get cured. And that somebody else that is on the hospital bed, maybe your own sister, maybe your own brother, maybe your own aunt, that person dies. They say, oh, the doctor didn't do well. The doctor didn't have the medication. The medications were not bought because the person that's supposed to clear the check didn't have the check. The check was not clear because the file that was supposed to be acted upon wasn't acted upon. The file was not acted upon because the record clerk didn't enter the file on time. The record clerk didn't enter the file on time because the messenger didn't bring the file. You see the chain? That's the chain of how things happen, leading to consequences that are costly to human life. That are costly to human life. Maybe that file will clear a check for someone to buy, whatever it is for the Ramadan. The person is quarrels with the wife. They have a fight. He hit the wife, injures the wife is admitted in hospital. What is the cause of that? The person that refused to act upon the file that will clear the check, get this money for this person to have something to buy for the family. It's the cause of that. It's the cause of that. Maybe the police, the traffic officer, supposed to be on the traffic to regulate traffic. But the traffic officer is waiting for a check for his payment, his salary, because he cannot go, leave the office for that. And because from the traffic he's going home. And the traffic officer is not on the traffic. People come, an accident happened. And, a whole lot of people died. Who is the cause? The cause of that is the people that delayed the clearance of that check. Are the people that caused that. So it's a chain. And all of this goes to patriotism and professionalism and ethics. People doing what is right. And ensuring that they do what is right, regardless of who it is. Regardless of who it is. I explained here the last time. I had a colleague who went on, escorted a patient. The colleague didn't work for the days. I refused to put those days for the colleague to have allowance for that. Because I know the consequences of doing that. If I put those days there, maybe nobody will detect that. And the colleague gets paid that. That could be a habit of other people and could lead to something else. But I refused to do that. I refused to do that and it became a lesson. It became a lesson. Everybody should do the same. We must do what is right. And at every point of work, whether you are in the private sector or in the public sector, every point of work, we must see our responsibilities as responsibilities that we have to fulfill or it will cost our lives. Every point of work. Whether you are a journalist, the word that you write, you know that this person, you use a passive word instead of an active word. When you know that the person's action was deliberate, you use a passive word instead of an active word. You change the whole meaning. You change the whole meaning. He slapped her. No, he was walking and then he raised his hand and touched his cheek. He raised his hand and touched his cheek. It's not the same as he slapped her. You are a journalist and you wrote that. They were quarreling. And then the moment he stepped out, he raised his hand and then he touched him on the cheek. You change the whole information from an active action to a passive action. The lawyer, the same. The engineer, the same. The tailor, the same. The market vendor, the same. The councillor at at the local government, the same. The National Assembly member, the same. The president, the same. The judges, the same. The magistrate, the same. We do that, we create more problems to society. We create more problems to society. Even the politicians. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I read the Ministry of Works and Construction saying that the port of Banjul was inactive until 2017, which is not true. Which is not true. And he himself that wrote that, know that what he said is not true. That the port of Banjul is inactive. We never had the port of Banjul, people diverting their imports to Senegal port. We didn't know of that until post-2017. And we know that contributed to the low activity of our ports. That contributed to the low generation of revenue for our ports. We know that. But the minister said the port of Banjul was inactive until 2017, which is not true. But that changed the whole message. It changes the whole message and gives a wrong message. But even the people that are reading that, even the minister that wrote that, knew that what he wrote is not true. The people working at the post know that what he said is not true. They all know that. But the lack of patriotism, the lack of desire in doing what is right, the lack of consciousness on the consequences of what we do is part of the reason that, we are living in this predicament that we are living in. It is part of the reason, a lot of lives are paying the cost of what we're doing. Uprightness is very important. I will say this before I go for iftar. My mother traveled. Then I was in the Gambia. My mother traveled. And my aunt, my uncle's wife, I went out to see someone. And I came, they didn't leave, anything for me for the iftar. So I didn't see anything. And then I asked them. And they said, because I was not there. I said, but I didn't go, I was not wondering about. I went for a mission. Then I said, my mom just went yesterday. In just 3 days, you already started exerting authority. If she is out for a year, what will you do? So I said, henceforth, I'm not going to eat my own share. You could eat my share. You add it to yours, and then you could have enough. So I said that to my aunt. My words are not filtered sometimes. I'm sorry about that. So I said that to my aunt. And then, I stopped eating until when my mom came back. So my mom, they were eating. Like I will sit when it is time for iftar, then I'll leave. So that they will not have the excuse that I'm not there. I will be there until when it is time, then I'll leave. So when they were about to eat, my mom was there, so I left. And then they asked. And then I told my mom that, I want them to have more to eat because you left. And then within 3 days, they started exerting authority. Then my mom said, then my aunt told my mom that, I insulted her. And I said, no, I didn't insult her. I repeated the same thing that I told her. I said, I told her that you left. In 3 days, they started exerting authority. And I said, my own share, they should use that and add it to theirs so they could have enough. And I told my mom, even in the mid of the sea, whatever I see and do, I will be, either I drown or I say what I will say and then leave. But I'm not going to change. And that's the way I live my life. I don't change what I say. People have to be upright. Don't worry about the consequences. You could die saying what is true. But it's better for you to live the consequences of saying what is true than living the lies that you said. I will end it there. It's time for iftar. So you take care and have a very excellent, night. I hope that the Ministry of Health would, consider this, plea that I am making, that they have to look into the food products that people are importing in our country and be sure that they are of quality to prevent the increasing, the incidents in unexplained death, healthy looking people dying without explanation. Should worry everybody. It should worry everyone. I have seen a number of them, on Facebook. People that, you were chatting with them yesterday, the next day, they are dead. The next day, they are dead. Nobody can explain the cause of their ill health. Here, I see people 80, 90-year-olds. 80, 90-year-olds. They live in healthy life. In the Gambia, you cannot see that. 40. Like, I have an observational study. Majority of these folks that are dying are between the ages of 25 and 50. Of the folks that, died within this period are between the ages of 25 and 50. The ages of 25 and 50. In fact, ages of 25 and 50 is the period of, the period that people are actively working here. You see 80-year-olds, 75, 80, 90. Between 25 and 50 are dying of unexplained death. That should concern everyone. It should worry all of us. It should worry all of us. And the first suspect is the food that we are consuming. The food that we are consuming should be the first suspect. And if the people responsible are not doing anything, you, the people, should go back to, eating what you grow. It's not difficult to have a garden at the backyard where you could get lettuce, tomato, or, this thing, carrot, pepper and all the stuff. You could get that. You could make the local mayonnaise. When I was young, my mom, my moms used to make local mayonnaise. Latikunda Sabiji, they used to sell local mayonnaise. They make local mayonnaise. At that time, the bread, the tapalapa was 50 butus. You have 25 butus, 50 butus, tapalapa. They make local mayonnaise. The mayonnaise that they will use the oil and egg and then and heat it. They stir it to make it mayonnaise. And it tastes nice. They put, onion there. It tastes nice. When I was young, they make that. You could make that mayonnaise instead of buying the one that they, import. You could make that. You get 2 eggs, use oil and stir it. You make mayonnaise, and your family feeds you that. You could do that. You could make, salad. Have a small garden at your backyard, make salad. You could do all of that. The jumbo that people eat, you could do that. You have fish, dry the fish, pound the fish, put how will I call it, salt in there, put, pepper there, mix it. You will serve the function of the jumbo that you eat. It will serve that function. The function of the jumbo that you eat, it will serve that function. And this will keep you healthy. This will keep you healthy. But if you want to live this, modernized lifestyle without having, checks being done for the things that you are consuming, you're going to die very young. You're going to die very young. You're going to die very young. People, what the soft drinks could do, the wonjo that you make, the boba juice that you make, exceeds that. You could make boba juice. You could make wonjo. You could make ginger juice. You could even make orange juice. All that you have to do, you peel the orange and squeeze it. And you make the liquid. You have orange juice. You will not need to buy, canned drink and all that. The canned drink that has a preservative, maybe the preservative is not good. It spoils the drink. You could have orange and peel the orange and squeeze the orange and have orange juice from it. Have boba juice. Have wonjo. Why will you need the one that is sell? You will not need that. You could do all of that and live healthy life. You could have an orange farm. You want orange juice, you go buy orange from the farm. You peel the orange, squeeze the orange yourself, and make juice. And make juice. The same with, with milk. You go to the herd of cattle, you get milk there and produce the yogurt that you want to make. Whatever you want to make, you could do that. Without depending on, imported food. Particularly when those responsible for the inspection are not doing it. Those responsible for inspection are not doing it. If where you live, you cannot have a garden, everybody is related in the Gambia, in one way or the other. You could have someone that has a garden in Fonyi, that has a garden in Kombois, that has a garden in Jara, in Nyomi, in Kiang. Now, you could easily go to Kiang and come back. You could go to Kiang and get a supply for a week, for 2 weeks. You keep it in the fridge. You get onion, you get, lettuce, you get tomato, you get pepper that you're going to use for 2 weeks. When it is finished, you go buy it again. You don't get, you don't depend on the imported one. You need milk the same. You go there, get milk in Kiam, in Jara, in Basse. You keep it in the fridge. The money you're going to spend to get that is much more less than the money you're going to spend on getting yourself healthy. Much more less. So all of this we could do. And we're supposed to do that. If not, we will be in ill health and people will continue to die. Until then, you all take care and have a very good night. Bye-bye.